Hello and welcome to the Daily Mill for Sunday, the 11th of September 2022. In today's Millwall news, we have a long interview with Callum Styles from London News Online, the South London Press's online website. From cheering on England to beating them twice, Millwall new boy Callum Styles has enjoyed dream international introduction. Callum Styles has had plenty of drama in his career over the past 6 months, with his deadline day dash to join Millwall just the latest chapter. The 22-year-old was confirmed as a Lions loan signing for Barnsley a week ago. South London was forced to wait for EFL confirmation on Friday morning that the necessary paperwork had been submitted in time. Eventful, but nothing like the backstory after Styles landed an international call-up with Hungary. He made his debut in a 1-0 home loss to Serbia in March. Styles then faced some of Europe's heavyweights in the Nations League in June, beating England 0-man away, drawing with Germany and only losing 2-1 to reigning European Championship holders Italy in Cesena. It was a pinch me moment, Styles told the South London Press. I supported England in the Euros when they got to the final, with all my mates in a beer garden. All the country was just united together. Then the next year I'm playing against them twice and beating them twice. Back then I was watching England in the Euros. I was never thinking I'll be doing what I did. That's how quickly things happen in football and how quickly life can change as well. I was just buzzing with it and I had a really good holiday afterwards. Styles played against Harry Kane, John Stones, Bukayo Saka, Jack Grealish, Raheem Sterling, Declan Rice and Jude Bellingham, all part of Gary Southgate's squad, which went so close to glory at Wembley in July 2021. But swapping shirts with established Premier League stars did not even come into his thoughts. All my mates back home asked if I had, said Styles, who grew up in Manchester and supports United. I was like, nah, I was just enjoying winning and celebrating with the boys. I was living in the moment. I didn't think this is whoever in the Premier League who I watch every week. Styles qualifies for the Magyars, World Cup runners-up in 1938 and 1954, through his grandparents. It took a number of months for him to gain international clearance. Even after his first appearance, his profile was instantly raised out there. 2 days after the Serbia match, I met up with my family because they'd come out to watch, and we went out for food in Budapest, recalled Styles. I got stopped about 5 times, which I was amazed at. I'd literally just been called up and I'd only played 35 minutes. And that was already happening in one evening. Are you thinking this is different levels? That will be a lot more recognition than I get in London. London is just a mad place. It's so fast moving, it's crazy. Fulham, Bournemouth and Forest were all linked with Styles in the summer of 2022. Fast forward 12 months and the links were to Sheffield United, Blackburn and Stoke City, but it was Millwall flying under the radar who got a deal over the line. There were quite a few times I was close to going, but some clubs of the chain, so they needed to sell a player to then buy me, said Styles. In a couple of instances, the player they wanted to sell got injured. That stopped me transferring. Finances were a problem for a lot of clubs, and it was a chain situation which didn't fall my way. A 45-minute train delay last Thursday meant Styles only arrived in Euston at 8 p.m. It left little more than 2 hours for the South Londoners to complete the transfer by the time he reached the Den. There was also the extra complication of other clubs trying to gazump the Lions. There were a lot of problems on the Barnsley side, which made it take so long, said Styles. There was a lot of panicking in the Millwall offices, thinking it wouldn't get done. I got to the point where everything was out of my hands. I was down there and I was calm. My mentality was that if it happens, and if not, I can't control that. There was no point me getting irate about it. But with 15 minutes to go, and the Millwall colleagues were starting to get mad stressed, it started to hit me. This might not get done. There was disruption, but they had all the proof to show the FA that they sent it in on time. Thankfully, it got over the line. The whirlwind nature of the move was capped off by Styles coming straight into Gary outside with a 2-0 win over Cardiff City on Saturday. He started at left wing back replacing Scott Malone and then switched to a central midfield shortly after the hour mark. Styles had the most touches and successful tackles of any Millwall player and the joint highest amount of dribbles that included a couple of byline busting runs past Marlon Romeo in the opening 45 minutes, one leading to Zion Fleming curling narrowly wide of the upright. He found out he was in the team just 90 minutes before kickoff. I had a weird feeling I might be starting, but I just thought that was maybe just me being hopeful, said Styles. I was sat at the ground on deadline day and I must have got about 3 hours of sleep that night, and then trained the next day. It was a mad 2 days. The lads played really well on Saturday and we got the win, so it was a really good couple of days. I thought I did well, and that was that I was on the front foot and trying to make things happen. That's what Millwall have probably been lacking in the last couple of games, getting on the ball and trying to make things happen. The main thing is that we won because the lads have been on the back of 3 defeats on the bounce, and it was really important to get that win to stop the run of losses. Former Tykes boss Gerhard Struber was the first to play Styles at left wing back, but last season was a mixed bag of roles, including 12 matches on the right of midfield, effectively playing both further advanced as well as being on the defensive details. It would be easy to say, yeah, I prefer this position, but it totally depends who I'm playing with, how we're set up to play and how the game is, said Styles. There are pros and cons for each position in different games. You get the best of me when I'm on the ball, in and around the box. I can score goals. It's a tough one to say what I actually prefer. I played midfield all my life. I'd probably say it is more my natural position. Styles scored 5 times and picked up 4 assists when Barnsley reached the Championship playoffs in 2021. Valérien Ismail's side lost 2-1 on aggregate to Swansea City. It was a really, really good season with Val, said Styles. All the players just brought into it and we had a really, really good group. The unity and togetherness was there. Everyone dreams of playing in the Premier League one day and we were so close. It was a bit gutting we didn't make it, but for the resources and budget Barnsley have compared to all the other teams in the Championship, it's incredible how we got there in the first place. So what should be the target for his new club? It's got to be a push for the playoffs again, said Styles. We did it at Barnsley with a lower budget, and they're not as big a club. Mill came close last season. We've got to be pushing for them for sure. Styles signed a new contract with Barnsley until the summer of 2025 before being cleared to leave. But there was a claim afterwards that a release clause was inserted, making it far more straightforward for a club to do a deal. There's definitely an option to buy, said Styles. I don't know whether that is a release clause for Millwall, but there is definitely something in there for them to buy. Hungary wrap up their Nations League schedule with Germany on September the 23rd at Leipzig's Red Bull Arena before hosting Italy on September the 26th. Marco Rossi's side are top of League A Group 3. I think we need at least 1 point to stay in the top division as long as England don't win both of their games, said Styles. I'm massively for Hungary now. I'm playing for them. Yeah, well, no shit. So is he selected for those? Probably they haven't picked the squads yet. What are we, 12 days away? They may have. I don't know. Should probably check it out. I'd imagine George Saville will be selected for Northern Ireland. So what have we got? 2 internationals? Okay. So there you go. Interesting stuff there from Callum Styles. Seems very down to earth, doesn't he? So, let's move on to this. Also from LondonNewsOnline.co.uk. He hasn't got what he's deserved. Millwall boss on lack of game time for one senior member of his first team squad. Gary Rowett is confident that George Evans will get more game time at Millwall this season. The 27-year-old has played just 6 minutes of Championship football, with his only start coming in the EFL Cup defeat to Cambridge United. The former England under-19 international last started in the league on February 26 against Sheffield United. Evans was an unused sub in 9 of the final 11 matches in 21-22 campaign. He has also been left on the bench in 4 Championship fixtures, this time round not made the matchday squad for 2 hours. Rowett told the South London Press, "He's a great guy, Evo. I've got a really good relationship with him. He's been really unfortunate. Sometimes his versatility actually makes it more difficult to pin down a regular place. But I think he will be important for us. I had a good chat with him. He wants more game time, like any player should. But I think he's also pretty committed to trying to get that here. I think things will change for him. Out of all the players we've got, he's probably the one who hasn't got what he's deserved in terms of minutes on the pitch. But I think he will. How? How? Literally every player that you brought in is better than him. The only player that you could argue last season he was better than probably Alex Pearce, because Alex Pearce was a bit slow, but Alex Pearce had other problems that George Evans didn't have. So, like, what is he expecting? Not only that, but in terms of playing, he was talking the other day about playing him at centre back. I'm like, I would rather play Hayden Muller there, to be honest, mate, than play George Evans there. So, and if you only play two in midfield, where's he going to play? Where the hell is he going to play? So, doesn't, like, it's not about getting what he's deserved. I mean, there's a hierarchy there, and he's not as good as the other players that are being selected. That's how it is. It is what it is. If he wants to leave, does he think he's going to get another? Does he think he's going to get a place in the Championship team? And if not, he's going to have to drop down to League One, and there's a salary cap in League One, so he's going to have to take a massive pay cut. Moving on to this. So usually on a Sunday we'll do the stats from the game of the day before, but of course there was no game yesterday. So what we have here, we actually have this from Experimental 361, and after about 8 games he's done a scatter graphic, which he does regularly throughout the season, and we're gonna have a quick look at these now. So shot dominance. First of all, here is how the number of shots taken by each club compares with those they face in return. The average number of shots taken per match is on the horizontal, left to right, and the average number faced is on the vertical. So bottom right means you take plenty of shots and you allow fewer return, is good, while top left, you take few shots and allow plenty against you, is bad. The stripes are like contours, the greener the stripe the better the performance, and vice versa for red. So you can see here the best 3 teams in the league are quite clearly and obviously Norwich, West Brom and Sheffield United. There's quite a big gap back to Burnley and Middlesbrough and Swansea, even Luton and Stoke. And we are on the same level as Sunderland, close to Blackpool, Bristol City and Preston. We take 13 shots per match, and we face about 14 shots per match, just over. So, of course, this is because I would imagine that we don't play a possession-based football game. We don't try and keep the ball for keeping the ball's sake. When we have the ball, we try to attack with it, and when the attacks break down, then we get counter-attacked upon, sometimes with teams. So that's probably the reason for that. Attacking effectiveness. Now this is going to get weird, and I'm going to show you why it gets weird. So now let's look at attacking alone. The horizontal axis stays the same as in the graphic above, but now the vertical axis, that's up and down on the left, shows the average number of shots needed to score each league goal. Therefore, bottom right is good, taking lots of shots and needing fewer efforts to convert, and top left is bad. Now let's see how weird this gets. Look, it's not even fitting on the whole screen. Look at Preston. Look at Preston. This is insane. So they take around 12 shots per game. They only score every 49 shots. Now why is that? We're going to have a look now. I think Preston, I don't know who the manager is, I think he's been taking tips off of Gary Rowett. He studied Gary Rowett and he's mastered Gary Rowett's style, because look at this. Here's the table here. You can see Preston there. Look at what they've done. So they've played 4 games at home. Right. They haven't won. They've drawn 3, lost 1. They haven't scored a goal at home. 4 games, they haven't scored. And they've conceded 1 goal at home. So that means they've had 3 0-0 draws and a 1-0 defeat in their 4 matches at home. That is insane. That is insane. If we go to their away form, further on the right, they've played 4, they've won 2, they've drawn 2. Or if they've won 2, they must have scored. No, look, they've only scored 2 goals. And they haven't conceded any. So if we do the math on that, quick math, they've won both of those games 1-0, and they've drawn both of those draws 0-0. This is like Gary Rowett ball on steroids. And if you go to the total, so they've played 8, they won 2, they've drawn 5, they've lost 1. They've scored 2 goals and conceded 1. Compare that to the rest of the teams in the league. Sheffield United 16 and 5, Reading 9 and 11, Bristol City 16 and 11. I've been 4th by the way, Bristol City. Wow. Even teams down at the bottom, comparable to that. Next, Cardiff 4 and 8, scoring 4 goals, conceding 8. Birmingham scoring 5 goals, conceding 8. Preston have scored 2 goals in 8 games and only conceded 1 goal in 8 games. That is friggin' insane. And that's why this graphic looks insane. They take around 12 shots per game, and it takes them 49 shots to score 1 goal. But so yet again, let's cast that aside. I'll explain that now. So you can see the 2 bad teams, other than Preston, are Cardiff and Birmingham, deep in the red. And again, the best 3 teams are Norwich, West Brom, Sheffield United, and Burnley. Burnley are a bit closer on attacking. But Millwall, not too bad there. Top 50% or bottom 50%. Again, around the likes of Stoke, Luton, Coventry, Sunderland. So again, just under 13 shots we take. But it takes us between 11.5 shots to score 1 goal. So we're doing quite well there. That's not too bad. But when you compare that with West Brom, so they 15 shots per match, and they score every 10 shots. So if we could get that up, that would be peachy. Defensive effectiveness. Next, let's look at the defensive situation. Basically, take the above chart and place the word taken for faced on both axes. Now, top left is good, facing fewer shots and able to soak up more per goal conceded, and bottom right is bad. So again, you can see Preston. This is insane as well in terms of their defending. Like I said, they've only conceded 1 goal. So let's go. Where were they? Let's get back. So they were between 13 and 14, I think. So they face 13 or 14 shots per match. 13. But they only concede 1 goal every 105 shots on against them. 105 shots they've had against them. They've only conceded 1 goal. It's insane. That is absolutely insane. So yeah, they seem to have a pretty good defense or defensive system. I don't know if they're playing 6 at the back or 10 at the back. They're playing probably 5-5-1, something like that. 6-3-1. But again, Sheffield United, best defence by far, and then we got Norwich, and then Watford actually, and then West Brom and Middlesbrough ain't actually doing that well defensively. That's the problem with them in terms of why they're not doing so well. They do have a bit patchy results. They have conceded quite a few goals, West Brom and Middlesbrough, even though they were thought to be favourites to do well this season. But you can see Millwall here. In terms of defensive, so we are in the bottom 50 for some reason. Doesn't look like it's that bad, but we face 14 shots per game averagely, just over, probably 14 and a quarter, and we concede a goal every 10 shots, which puts us in the probably bottom 4. Huddersfield, Hull, Millwall, Coventry. Coventry's actually probably worse than us, but they haven't played that many games. See, they had 2 games cancelled because of their shit pitch. That's probably an anomaly as well. So they face 12 shots at them per game, and they conceded a goal every 5. So they are pretty bad. But yes, we are not the best either. So our defence has kind of faded away. Because last season we were firmly where this cross is. You see the cross. If you go to the Coventry and follow them up, and it kind of intersects just above Wigan, we were always in that middle bit there. We were literally the middle all season, and now we're kind of off to the right, not doing too well. So to get that back to the middle, we probably need to face a number of shots and not actually concede, which would be nice. Expected goals. So finally, here is an attempt at correcting the first graphic. The quality of chances created and allowed using the same expected goals values that power my shot timelines. They're the ones that I show you, the timeline that goes up and down like a staircase. You've seen the stats videos on Sundays or after a match, midweek match. That's from this website. The reason for doing this is that the results tend to correlate more strongly with performance than when we treat all shots equally. So all shots are not equal. So the graphics above, they paint an overall picture, but it's broad. This is probably more nuanced. So when we adjust for chance quality, Middlesbrough join the dominant trio to form a quartet of impressive starters, which suggests that they are more modest shot balance, master quality of their efforts. Cardiff and Watford games, meanwhile, have tended to be low on quality both ends. So there you go. When you adjust it for XG, Middlesbrough are actually doing pretty decent because they're not very prolific. They do have they are prolific, but they're not very industrious. They don't have a lot of shots, but the ones they do are very good quality chances. Whereas with Watford, no. So on the horizontal, the one going left to right and on the right, expected goals created per match. Millwall are between 1. What would you say that was? 1.35. So we're going forward. We are 1.35 per match, but defensively we are 1.5 per match conceded against us. The chances we allow against us are 1.5. So we are not doing that well. We are probably but literally, like I said before, bang in the middle, just above the middle. That's where we were last season. And again, it's the defense. The defense 1.5 xG allowed per match, and only 1.35 xG created per match. We're doing more defending than attacking. And there it is. That's it. That's the analysis so far. And on that note, thank you for watching, and goodbye.